Good evening, folks. If you are watching after the fact, then please feel free to skip ahead to qualifying as we get the rest of the drivers into the session and the lobby all set up. It is the final Tier 1 race of F1 23, and we might just have our closest championship battle to date. Don't go anywhere.
and average 24 degrees, with the weather generally remaining dry and sunny. There have been several GPs since the turn of the millennium to feature no overtake. This includes Monaco in 2003 and Russia in 2017. In comparison, the most overtakes in a single race was witnessed at Chinese GP in 2016 and featured a staggering 161 overtakes.
Hello everyone and good evening. We are here for qualifying on what is race, I worked this out, race number 38 of Tier 1 in APPF1 for Formula 1 23, and the last Tier 1 race that you shall see on this iteration of the game. We are soon to move over to F1 24, but there is a championship to be decided, and we start here in qualifying at the Colosseum of Speed, otherwise known as Monza, the fastest circuit on the Formula 1 calendar as far as the average speed is concerned. And we watch Rick coming down in towards turns number 1 and 2, the first of many a chicane through here in his Mercedes car, one of 4 championship challengers, arguably the one with the most work to do. Here comes Rick now through Curva Grande. We go in towards the Della Roggia chicane, braking as late as he dares around that 100-meter board, using the curb to great effect on exit as well. And now in toward the Lesmo corners, Rick avoiding the curb, don't want to unsettle the car here. Now take as much curb as you want through this part of the corner, it doesn't really matter, as we then open up the DRS for the first time, no, the second time on the lap, as we go all the way down toward the Ascari chicane now, in through the left. Then there's a flick to the right and one more flick to the left. Be careful on exit, you don't want to lose the car there. Using all the track he could is Rick, down all the way now to the Parabolica, otherwise known as the Alboreto corner as well. Down we go, could be a little bit tighter there as Rick loses the rear end as well for good measure, but he's going to start us off with the opening lap in this qualifying session. It is going to be a 1 minute 19.5. Just behind him, is it Speed Alcoholic? It is, but he's invalidated his lap. What about Zotic in the other Aston Martin, coming down towards Parabolica now, making his way through the number 5 car, a tribute to Sebastian Vettel, I'm sure, with that number all the way down to the line. Let's see where it's going to place him. A 1 minute 20.0 on the dot. Not a bad effort on there at all. Hopefully the drivers can give us a fantastic race. 11 drivers for the last race of the season. It's diabolical, it's awful. APPF1 drivers, what are you doing? Some veterans who weren't checked in today. I'm looking at you. As Lifebout, a 1 minute 18.9. That is a solid time to start off with. Red Flame Joe, 19.2. Here's Ghost, another of the championship challengers. Lifebout also joining their ranks, and 19.1 from Ghost. How about MX or Antone? Antone with a 1 minute 20.5. Not bad at all. Roberts making his way through now as well. He's invalidated his last lap. Lewis AP coming in as well, round the final couple of corners. Can he upset the order? A P5 for the Alpine driver. Not a bad lap at all. Let's ride along with Roberts then, because I think he's the lead car on a lap. No, never mind, it's NX. But we're going to take a look and tell you everything you need to know about this evening's race. And we're going to start with our championship challenges. I've zoomed right in on them here as we go through. So Luca is not here, he is out. That is his chance at a Tier 1 championship. Done. He is racing over with X for a team event, I believe, and that is why he is not here this evening. So it leaves the championship challengers of Ghost, Roberts, Lifebout, and Rick. So Robert will keep an eye on him as well when he comes across the line. Ghost is 91 points to the good. He is 4 points ahead of his challenger Roberts, who's on 87 points. Then 10 points behind are both Lifebout and Rick there as well. So they need a very good result this evening if they're going to have any chance of winning this championship. Whereas Roberts placed his Ferrari on provisional pole position with a 1 minute 18.882. A fantastic effort as well. I'm told that it is dry for the race this evening, so there is no jeopardy of rain, although maybe there might be some later on that we haven't seen yet on the radar, but you never know with these Formula 1 games. But that's how they shake up. We'll be talking plenty about where they need to finish and how they need to finish, but for the time being there's another battle to be had, and I'd say that there isn't much of a battle to be had, I'm afraid, because McLaren, neither car is here, so Haas, as long as they don't get outscored by 37 points, are going to be your Constructors' Championship winners. The only team who can realistically catch them, I think, are Mercedes. But they need to finish... Well, no, they can't. How about AlphaTauri? No, there's only one of them. No. So, the Constructors' battle out the window. Gone. Don't worry about it. There's still some fighting for the lower positions, P3 and P4, for AlphaTauri, but Haas are pretty much your winners for the Constructors. 151 points, 134 points for McLaren, who may get overtaken by Mercedes or AlphaTauri if they score enough points today, with Williams 86, a point behind on Ferrari as well, so there's a battle there going on. Aston Martin 58 points. Then there's Alfa Romeo 56, 53 points for Alpine, 31 for Red Bull as well. That's how they all shake up. Hello, Speed in the chat. Hello, Sonic. Oh my god, hello. How have you been, mate? It's been ages. We should have a catch-up at some point. It'd be good to hear from you, man. But yes, I'm doing very well, Speed. Very well. It's the championship finale. Yeah, there's a few less drivers on the grid than I would like, but we've got some fantastic challengers out there today for the championship, so it is going to be amazing, I'm sure. But wow, yes, here we are then. And qualifying here at Monza. We've had the Tier 2 race, the Tier 2 championship decided. It saw Lawrence crown the Tier 2 champion, the second two-time Tier 2 champion we have ever had in APPF1. It is fantastic. And a big congratulations to Lawrence on wrapping that one up. Commiserations to Jackalacco, of course. Wasn't the best race from him here at Monza. Wasn't the best race for myself here at Monza as well, but I achieved my goal of finishing in the top 10, which was all I could really ask for, I think, in a season where I did have my ups and downs, but they were mostly ups. And going into F1 2024, I am very much hoping to continue the upward trend as we go along. But here is Zotic making his way through the Della Roggia now on his lap in his Aston Martin. Through the Lesmo as we go. We're looking at those sector times as we go along. The sector 2 line is just before the Ascari chicane's braking zone, so we'll wait and see what Zotic is able to put in for us. I'm just getting up the track map as well, just because I didn't get the track map up, and I regrettably have forgotten the name of the first chicane, which is very bad of me. It's awful, I know. I'm a terrible, terrible commentator. Shoot me. The Variante Rettifilio, that's the one. I always forget that one. Oh dear, here comes Zotic down towards, can he improve on his 1 minute 20? He can. 3 tenths to the good, or 2.5 tenths really to the good. Not a bad effort, puts him in P6. Let's see what else. Lifebout has just gone out to start a lap, so we'll keep an eye on the Dutchman. Roberts about to start a lap too. The Haas about to play some tow games perhaps, as Ghost is sent through down in towards Parabolica. Could this be a good lap from Ghost? We haven't seen his sector times coming across. He's the championship leader thus far and has got it all to do. A 1 minute 18.825. It's a decent improvement. It's not by much of a margin, no. Rick down towards the line as well. He's improved. A 1 minute 19.0, still off of the top 3 there. All 4 championship contenders in the top 4. Let's see who else is going. Sonic, nice to hear your remarkable voice once again, doing great commentaries. It's definitely been ages. It has. It's been far too long. If you don't know Sonic, people, he was my teammate way back when we started out APPF1 Tier 1. We were in the Renaults together. We didn't have the best run of things, I will say. But Sonic was one of my first teammates and probably my favourite teammate. I'm sorry, Alex and Jack and RJ and QB. I think that's all the people I've teamed up with over the time. But yes, it's great to see APP still going strong, still putting on fantastic races for everybody who wants to see them, and still me in the commentary box many years later. Teammates for life, of course. Sonic, I would love for you to come back and race with us at some point if you have the time. There'll be plenty going on if you get hold of F124. I know you're a busy man, but we'd love to have you back. There's plenty of racing to be had. Come jump in the cockpit if you get a moment, mate. You're more than welcome to come back. I'm on wheel now, if you didn't know, Sonic. It's going decently. And speed puts a 1 minute 19. Really thinking of a comeback. Do it, mate. Do it. We'd love to have you back. Honestly. Come join us in Tier 2 or Tier 1 or whichever tier you're fast enough for these days. Have you been keeping up with the F1 games? You been playing them at all? Let's see. Qualifying shaping up like so. Life bout only 1/1000th of a second away from Ghost's time. Ghost has really put in a fantastic effort there. Here's MX 5/10 up. Here's the German making his way around. Let's see, is there a Tier 4? Not at the moment, but if we keep getting X Esports drivers, we might get down to a Tier 4. And Sheep has left the session. Lag perhaps for Sheep, the new driver at APPF1, at least the newest driver on this grid here as we go along, and his Aston Martin. But MX 1 minute 19.2, a valiant effort from the Red Bull, and he'll definitely be chasing after. Better result. That's Sheep's AI doing some strange things. We won't talk about that too much as we go along. I'm going to open my water bottle. I hope it doesn't make too much noise. There we go. Drivers making their way around. We've got 4 minutes and 17 seconds left in the session. Speed Alcoholic into the pits. And it's the top 4, the championship contenders, all within the top 4 positions right now. How is that going to change? Roberts is very close to them as well in his Ferrari. I think he might have had to abort his last laps. Or last lap, I should say. Rick as well, knocking on the door, but has to do a little bit more to close that gap. Sorry, I can't sit still at the moment. There's so much excitement. And it's quite warm in my room, so I have to keep moving. Red Flame Joe then, only driver out on the track. Red Flame Joe, quite the driver, an elite champion once again. Not well renowned for his goalkeeping skills, I'll say though. If you know, you know. I'll explain. A few of us have a pro clubs, and Red Flame Joe is our goalkeeper, who has doesn't have the best record. Let's put it that way. But he's a fantastic driver, and we're about to see him put in a great lap. Here we go, in towards the Rettifilio, through this tricky, awkward chicane. Decent exit though from Joe, climbing up the gears now into Curva Grande he goes, and down towards the Della Roggia. The first sector line comes up here. Sector 1 comprised of 3 corners, 200th of a second up, a quarter of a tenth up on his previous effort, making his way through the Lesmo corners now. Really got to be committed at every part of this circuit. Really got to maximise your speed as you're making your way around. Speaking of, all the other drivers are coming around as well. They're going to be starting laps momentarily. Let's see, Joe, he's down now. He's about a tenth, he's about 100th, sorry, down on his previous attempt on a lap around this circuit. Let's see what he can do. One more corner to navigate. The Parabolica corner, the final corner in this racetrack. Let's see, the Haas car all the way around. Cut it out all the way to the wide side of the track. Let's see, Red Flame Joe, not enough to improve his lap time. Will he have time to go out again? We will find out. But first, we must now put our attention to this man, Ghost, chasing after yet another championship to add to his very, very vast collection of APPF1 accolades. And he opens up the DRS to begin his final lap here at Monza, here in Tier 1, at the final race on F1 23. As we go in toward the new game, let's see as he comes through the Rettifilio. Look fairly clued in through there, and he'll have to be. He's got some fantastic drivers chasing after him. It has been a wonderful Tier 1 season, and I so wish I could have been here for more of it. But unfortunately, life gets in the way. But here we go, in toward the Della Roggia. Let's see how brave Ghost is on the braking. A little bit of rear locking, but it hasn't affected him too much. Hello, Lawrence in the chat saying Sumo as we go through the Lesmos with Ghost. A little bit of a touch on the curb there. We'll have to wait and see what his sector times are as he makes his way through in his fantastic helmet. I've always loved Ghost's helmet designs. Making his way down though. Here's a Ghost past our cameras there underneath the bridge. Let's see, he's down by 0.4 of a second. He's going to have to go out again. Let's see who else is out on a lap right now. Red Flame Joe, I think he's gearing up for one more run. Lewis AP has just started a lap. Zotic on a lap, he's 1/10 of a second up on his previous attempt. Anton 0.2 of a second up. He on his 1 minute 20.5. Can he go any faster than that as he goes through the final sector now? He's not backing off by the looks of things, so this is going to be his final attempt. Ghost is getting a tow from his teammate by the looks of things all the way down toward the first corner. That's going to help him out big time. Let's see, what can Anton do in his Red Bull? 1 minute 19.9, not enough to improve in towards the top 9, but Zotic P7 for the Aston Martin driver. What is Lifebout up to? One of our 4 championship challenges this evening. Can he put a better lap time in to snatch away pole position at the very last moments? The checkered flag is waving. Our 4 championship contenders are on the first 4 positions. How will they be shaping up through here? Lifebout 1 minute 18.5. Decent effort. Lays down the gauntlet for the rest of his rivals. Lewis AP is only a couple attempts up. Can he get involved? I don't think so. They're looking at the lap time that he's setting right now. Speed alcoholic, fast driver, but not on this occasion. Ghost making his way through. He's 0.3 up on his previous effort. The tow has really helped Ghost out. He's got one more corner to navigate. No errors here from Ghost. Could see him on pole position for this Tier 1 finale. This could be getting very, very exciting very quickly. Let's go. All the way down towards the line for Ghost. Oh, it's just shy. It's a 1 minute 18.6 for Ghost. Roberts unable to do anything. Rick gets into the 1 minute 18s, but isn't able to get ahead of any of his competitors up ahead of him. And that's it for the championship rivals. And I think that's it for qualifying as well. Lifebout puts in a great effort. Ghost put a valiant attempt in, but was unable to gain more time on Lifebout. Lifebout seemingly more confident through the Parabolica than Ghost, and the qualifying merchant strikes again. Yeah, not a full tier. It's awful. Jump in, Palan. Go on. Pop another car on the grid. Anyway, Ghost narrowly missed out to Lifebout, who snatched pole position away from him by 0.08 of a second as I moved my phone off of my desk. Roberts lines up on P3 with Rick alongside, making up row number 2. Then we have Speed Alcoholic and MX rounding off the top 6 with Zotic, Red Flame Joe, Lewis AP, Antone and Sheep. The rest of the grid, hopefully no more connection issues. 11 people watching so far. Fantastic. Leave a like on the stream if you're here. Now 10 people. They must not have liked me calling them out. But either way, share the stream, put a like on it, do whatever. You know what to do at this point. Top 5 within half a second. Yes, it's very exciting, Sonic. This should be a great race. We've got some good names fighting up at the front this season. Roberts, by the way, has been a fantastic driver to have with us for the last few seasons or so. He's been doing a great job. It's also my tier 1 stewarding buddy. I gotta say, I've not interacted with Roberts all too much other than in the stewards chats, so I don't know. Good luck, Robert. That's all I'll say on the matter. Good luck to all the drivers. It has been a fantastic tier 1 season. I so regret not being here for most of it. I couldn't be helped, unfortunately, with work deciding that they weren't going to adhere to my schedule that I would have preferred. But you know, is what it is. As we go along, I'm not going to linger on it too much. But it should be a fantastic finale, and of course we've got one more finale to go with the Elite Championship as well. Then we take a little bit of a break. F1 24 will release on the 31st of May. And then, folks, I can happily say that if you want to get racing early, we'll have a couple of off-season championships going on. With F2 Cup coming back, of course. Who doesn't love the F2 Cup? And if you remember way back, Sonic, you'll remember these. Sprint, after a long hiatus, is finally going to make its triumphant return. So if you want to come sprint racing at the start of F1 24 and every other off season, let's go. Sign up. You know what to do. Keep an eye on those sprint channels. I will be posting it around on the server. If you've got time during the summer, then please come and race with us. And as well, we may be going crossplay. As long as F1 24 doesn't release on PS4, crossplay could be a thing, so keep an eye on that. And also the podcast. Don't forget the podcast. Sprint races are very good fun. Have you been keeping up with the podcast, Sonic? Over on Spotify, APPF1 podcast. Me and Ghost every Monday night it should release, if Ghost remembers to release it. We talk about F1, we talk about APPF1, and of course there is the long-awaited results of the Predictions Championship, which I am currently leading. Wish me luck. Anyway, I'll stop yabbering on about things going on in APPF1, because there's one thing going on in APPF1, and that is this race right now. It is Monza, the finale, and let's take a look at the strategies. It is split down the middle then for the top 4, our championship contenders. It is Lifebout on hard tyres, and Rick as well, the two Dutchmen copying one another, with Ghost and Roberts on the medium tyres. They're going to go aggressive right from the start. Then there's Speed as well. He'll get himself involved in the action on his medium tyres, with MX and Zotic on the softs. Red Flame Joe, the only other hard starter. Lewis AP and Anton in the mediums. And Sheep on the soft compounds as well. So some aggressive drivers. Rick's going to have to be careful. Some aggressive strategies look to be coming to the forefront. Right, give it a moment. So coming round, just taking a look in the Discord. Any information? Right, let's get the chat up. Let's be ready. We're lining up on the grid. The final race of Tier 1. It's always exciting. Our championship contenders on the grid. Rick, the last of the 4 to line up. Then everybody else behind them. The chasing pack. There they all are. Let's ride on board with young Rick chasing his first ever Tier 1 title. Can he get himself that accolade after a long awaited time. It's 4-5 red lights, and we are underway and racing for one last time, and it is a fantastic start from Roberts, who gets side by side with Ghost as we go in towards the first corner, and is free wide now as Speed Alcoholic in the Aston Martin gets involved. There's some contact maybe perhaps as Ghost still navigating this Ferrari as we go along. Sonic cheering him on as he makes his way onto the Curva Grande, and Red Flame Joe making up positions on the start as well as Speed drops down one. The top four unchanged as they go through Curva Grande now. Antone out of the race. He's retired from the session on the track. I'm not sure what's happened there. I think he just might have rage quit the session. That's not allowed, but thankfully a safety car hasn't come out just yet. Sheep had a bad start as well, but Lifebout has held off his rivals behind him. And let us see, Sheep has left the session once again, experiencing some awful issues with lag. We're already down by 2 drivers. Not a great start to this Tier 1 race. Meanwhile, Red Flame Joe putting the pressure on Rick as they come through the Ascari chicane now. And it is as they were the top 4. And it is game on for the next 26 laps. Let's see as we go through. Speed Alcoholic and Zotic, they're teammates, but I don't think that's an arranged pairing. They're both reserve drivers, so they'll be racing for glory between each other as they go. But here comes Rick. He is already on the push. He's closing in, but the slipstream really protecting Robert's position. Ghost, will he be forced to make a move? He's going to put the scarers on Lifebout just to try and force a little mistake from him, make him go deeper through there. Has it worked? Ghost very close. Will he tuck into that lovely little slipstream all the way down towards the Retafilio? No, it's the Della Roggia, sorry. That, as we go along, doesn't send a move. Sensible from Ghost as Rick makes a move on Robert. They're side by side, and that's cost them both dearly as Red Flame Joe gets the better of both of them as Rick went for a little bit of an audacious move into the Della Roggia. Some impatience perhaps from the Dutchman, and that has opened up as Red Flame Joe loses the rear end of his Haas, and that's going to invite them both back through. So back as they were before that overtake at the Della Roggia. Rick back up into P4, and Robert, oh, he'll be lucky that Red Flame Joe wasn't much closer. Speaking of Red Flame Joe making a move again, he's got the speed in that Haas car, and he's got himself back ahead of Rick. What Rick does not want is to be held up. What is happening? He's being held up by Red Flame Joe. Here we go. Ghost with the advantage right now. Tucks into the inside. It's going to be his corner as they go into turn number 1. And it's going to be the lead of the race for Ghost. It's been fantastic as we go along already. It's only been 3 laps and there's been some great battles on the track. Red Flame Joe has really been a factor in this race already. What else can we expect from this Monza finale? Sonic says, I think Ghost and me won a sprint championship years ago. I was his teammate as a reserve driver for Williams the last 2 races of that season. You know, I feel like I remember that. Was it like season 2 or something? I feel like it was season 2 that Ghost was in the Williams. I know it was one of the very early ones, I want to say. I don't know. I could have won a sprint championship. If you know, you know. Oh dear. Lifebout on the attack now. This could be a very choppy and changey Grand Prix from these two. They're going to work together, perhaps? Who knows? Roberts is going to be waiting to pick up the pieces, though, as Lewis AP gets past the Zotic, who looks like he might have made a mistake going through the Parabolica. And here comes Lifebout. He's trying to break the toe, really. He's trying to put a move onto the inside. I don't think he wants to go for the move. I think he wants to stick with Ghost, let Ghost wear out those medium tyres, and then pit. Maiden win in Silverstone with the Renault. Yes, mate. That was great. Should have been a 1-2. Should have been a 1-2 for us. If only I hadn't crashed. But you won the first ever APPF1 Tier 1 race. So that's a stat that's going to stay with you forever. I'm sure Rick will love that one. He'll be putting it in his pocket when he hears it. I'm sure he's already got that written down somewhere. Blimey. I'll put in your predictions now, folks. We've still got a long way to go. Lifeboat getting real close to the back of Ghost. I really don't think he wants to go for that move. We're going to have to watch him. Let's ride on board with Robert as we go along. Only one because of you guiding me through the race, mate. You know what? I've always said I'd make a decent race engineer. Predictions goes for the win. It says Sonic in the chat. Here we go. Roberts is closing up, and look, oh, Lifeboat is using his DRS. Roberts is really closing. Is this going to be free wide into the first corner? It is. Here comes Roberts, but he backs out of it just before they go in towards the Rettifilio. Side by side now, though, is Ghost and Lifeboat. Will Ghost get the better exit on the softer rubber? He does, but he's only about half a car length ahead, but now a full car length ahead as he makes the move, keeps the position, and defends from Lifeboat. The charging Dutchman, will he be able to go ahead of Ghost again? Not quite. As they go through the Della Roggia, Rick in the meantime has got past Red Flame Joe once more, and he'll be going on the attack. Now I'm going to move over to... Oh, I've just closed one of my tabs. Didn't need that one anyway. I'm going to have my chart up here, as Ghost has very kindly made me a tier 1 permutations chart, as he always does when we go into a finale of a season as close as this one. And if we get a chance, we'll go over it, but I've got it for quick reference now, at the very least. So here we go, as Robert and Rick side by side. Robert fending him off for now, was defending the inside toward the Parabolica. Will that cost him some speed? Heading down the main straight now, as there's a yellow flag. That's Zotic out, and that's a safety car. Perfect timing for me to spiel off some stats for you. And perfect timing for this man, MX, into the pits. And this really puts a spanner in the works for Lifebout and Rick and Joe. The safety car means that those hard tyres, they're likely going to have to come in. Or they stay out and risk being essentially a pit stop down. Because those hard tyres should go to the end from here once Ghost and Robert and all the other medium runners put them on. But here we go then. So, I've got my charts. Let's read the charts and tell you what needs to happen. We have 4 drivers in contention. Ghost, if he wins and takes the fastest lap, if he wins... or if he takes second place in the fastest lap, then none of his rivals can catch him. They'd have no hope. That's your tier 1 champion decided. However, if Ghost were to finish second or lower, with or without fastest lap, Robert would need to finish first in order to win, or, well, just essentially just finish ahead of him. But, I mean, first, points-wise, from, let's say, like, to P3. If Ghost finished off the podium, then P2 would be the minimum he would need, let's say. And then Lifebound and Rick is exactly the same, except Ghost would need to finish 6th or lower, and either of them would need to win the race. Or if they won the race and took fastest lap, Ghost would need to finish 5th in order for Rick or Lifebout to win the championship. And it's roughly similar between the others. Robert just needs to get 3rd place and fastest lap maximum, well, or minimum I should say. But if he were to finish 3rd place without the fastest lap, then Lifebout or Rick would need to win the race. And then Lifebout needs win on fastest lap or a win ahead of Rick. Essentially, Rick needs to finish ahead of Lifebout to beat Lifebout. You get the gist. So I've got it all here. We can update that as the race goes along. It's okay. Top 4 though, unchanged after the pit stops. Lifebout has to go onto the medium tyres now. Rick onto the mediums as well. They might go to the end. There might be another safety car. Who knows? Let's hope it's not one of the top 4. We're down to 9 drivers though. I think Sheep has not got back into the session. So we're actually down to 8 drivers. It's such a shame we've got such a small grid for this race. I'm actually quite irritated by that. But we've still got a race going on. But here we are then. Zotic, I oversteer every lap in the last corner. It is a tough one. It is a tough one, that last corner. Is it on entry, or are you oversteering as you're getting back on the accelerator? Because I know in my practice I had a lot of issues of rear locking, which was making me oversteer and spin into Parabolica. And if you're a little bit too impatient with the throttle, you can also oversteer and hit the wall. Parabolica's a trickier corner. I actually was discussing this with Alex, my teammate for Tier 2, that Monza is a much trickier track than it looks. It looks quite simple, but it's actually got a lot of nuance to it. It's a lot trickier than it would seem, especially when you're working at such high speeds as well. Those braking zones are crucial. You've got to be really on it with your I've forgotten the term now. With your trail braking, that's it. You've got to be really on it. Otherwise, you're gonna be sort of shooting yourself in the foot and losing a lot of time. It's in the entry. I lose the rear even when I'm careful because it happened the lap before. Oh dear. I don't know. Maybe your wings, perhaps they're a little bit too low or high for it. Or, I don't know. It's a strange one. It sounds like something to do with the setup, though, perhaps. But it's a shame that it's caused you to exit the race in such a fashion. As you run 9-4. I don't know, then. You know what, I'm not the best with setups, in all honesty. So I couldn't tell you, but either way, it's a shame. But welcome to the stream. As we gear up for the restart. When will Ghost punch it? Lifeboat eagerly awaiting car number 7. The lucky number of most people on this planet. When will Ghost punch it? It'll have to be sometime soon. The safety car peels into the pit lane. He can go any time from now. When is he going to go? Is he going to be looking to catch out? Lifeboat, there he goes. And Lifeboat clued into the start. But Ghost has masterfully just kept him within arm's reach. But Rick is already on the attack. And it's side by side between the two of them, the Ferrari and the Mercedes. And Robert has nowhere to go. He's boxed in. Can't really make a move. Rick gets the move done. Lewis AP and Red Flame Joe have a little bit of an incident together. I think it's all well and good as they go through. Red Flame Joe getting ahead of Lewis AP perhaps, or perhaps keeping a position from the Alpine. But Rick, a great restart from the Mercedes driver. He's up into P3, but he needs to be doing more. He needs to be going after it, and really it's Robert who needs to be winning this race ahead of Ghost, not Rick. Because Ghost, like we said, would need to be finishing off the podium, I believe. Yeah, Ghost needs to be P5. Well, P6 or lower, we said. So this is going to be the uphill battle for the two of them. But here we go. Lifeboat and Rick. They're going to have the advantage now as far as tyres are concerned. A Lifeboat's strategy of waiting for Ghost's tyres to go off has come to an end. Ghost will be feeling like a sitting duck, though, as they make their way down the straight for the 10th time this evening. As Rick sets the fastest lap, there goes Lifeboat. Will Rick get involved in the party as well? He's going to think about it, but he tucks right in. And side by side they go now. Here comes Ghost. It's side by side as they exit as well. Ghost, the better exit, just squeezes Lifebout that little bit too far to the right of the track. And now it's almost free wide through the Curva Grande as Rick is getting involved. Is he going to go for the lead? He gets both of them in turn 3. It's a fantastic move from Rick. And he gets himself into the lead of this race. But Ghost will really need to deteriorate in the next phases in order for Rick to really gain the benefit and win this championship. But the Dutchman on form gets both of his rivals ahead of him and now leads this race. It is the third new leader of this Grand Prix. The medium runners won't be able to go to the end. At least they're going to... Yeah, I'd say they'd struggle from to the end at this point, Sonic. Those mediums were going to be real sucky. The tyres, while they don't degrade quickly around here in race trim, the loss of grip is really felt after a while. As is another yellow flag. That's MX round. Oh no. What's happened? Did he lose it by himself? Who knows? But DRS is now enabled. And Rick is leading this DRS train down the main straight and through the Rettifilio. He's going to be watching his back. He's going to be looking in those mirrors. Keeping an eye on the drivers behind him. Right then. Rick. Ghost. Lifebout. Robert has been overtaken as well by Red Flame Joe while we weren't watching. It's a fairly neutral race by now. The DRS train is fully left the station once again. Rick now leading the way. Very little effort on his helmet, must be said. Ghost is always good. Lifebout is a plain black helmet as well. That's the most boring helmet design I've ever seen in Lifebout. 0 out of 10. 0. And let's see. As we move along. Any lunges in toward the first corner. Here comes Ghost. Here's a lunge into turn 1. And Ghost going to be braking as late as he dares. Rick will try and go around the outside. Not going to work. Lifebout slips it up the inside. And Rick might also be overtaken here by Red Flame Joe. He's lost 3 places almost in 2 corners. 3 corners now if Red Flame Joe makes the move, and he does. And that's 3 places lost. And there's a lunge from Red Flame Joe on Lifebout as well. Trying to really get involved is Joe, playing the team game. Really wants to defend it and defend Ghost from his rivals there as well. He wants to be the ultimate Sergio Perez. I don't think Red Flame Joe quite realises how safe he really is from Lifebout and Rick. But maybe Red Flame Joe wants to get ahead. And here comes Rick down the inside of Ascari. Oh, and he goes off the track and he's round. Oh, he's clipped Lifebout on entrance. Oh, and he goes round. Red Flame Joe was collected in that as well. There was no doing there. That was a desperate move from Rick, and he's paid the price. And that could be championship over for this young man. He took a bit too much. He took more than he could chew, that I should say, as we go there. And I think he'll be kicking himself with that, I'm sure. Meanwhile, Robert promoted up to P3, but maybe not for much longer, as Speed Alcoholic and Lewis AP are all over him as they go in towards turn number 1. But Robert holds them off for the time being. I've got a train of cars behind. MX gets ahead of the ghosted sheep in towards turn number 1. It's going to be recovery mode, but Rick is 6 seconds down off of the train ahead of him. It's commiserations, really, for the young Dutchman. Nothing short of a safety car. We'll bring him back into this now. Meanwhile, Ghost and Lifebout, they've opened up a gap because of that incident. Lifebout, though, I think he might be aware of what he needs to do. And so far, it won't matter if it were to finish with Lifeboat ahead and Ghost just behind. That is Ghost, your Tier 1 champion. Ghost needs a mistake. Needs a major, major mistake if Lifeboat is ever going to win this. And here we go, side by side. Lifeboat's got a fantastic exit on those medium tyres through the Parabolica. It's side by side, and in the background it's side by side as well. This is fantastic racing. Speed has robbed Roberts of P3 now. Will Lewis AP take away a position from Red Flame Joe? They're still side by side as they exit through the Curva Grande now. Red Flame Joe holding off though, and is unable to get back up ahead of the drivers in front of him. Lewis AP still sending it though, backs out sensibly as they go through the Della Roggia, and it's as they were. I'm not sure what's happened between Lifeboat and Ghost, but Speed Alcoholic and the rest of the pack have closed up. 6-car train for the lead here of this Monza Grand Prix. Ghost doing everything in his power to hold off his rivals just behind. Let's see as we go through. Lifeboat chasing after Ghost, who has been chased by Speed, chased by Roberts, chased by Red Flame Joe, and chased by Lewis AP. Here they come. All of them making their way through the Parabolica corner. Lifeboat, is he using that DRS? Of course he is. Down the main straight, keeping out of the toe though. Don't think he wants to make the move. He might have to though. Speed Alcoholic, it doesn't look like he's a man who's going to be yielding to somebody in a championship position. Speed might just get his elbows out here and challenge for the lead. Could help the likes of Robert and Lifeboat. Robert's ever lurking in the background. He's there to pick up the pieces if something ever happens to the leaders. Rick unable to really make any inroad on the drivers ahead of him. His title chances slipping further and further away as the laps tick down, as the corners go by. Not what the young Dutchman would have wanted at all. At all. And he's had a fantastic season as well. Here comes Red Flame Joe trying to make a move in towards Parabolica. They're going to go side by side, although the Ferrari will brake later and hold the position. Will Joe try and cut into the inside and maybe cut underneath him? Not quite. The DRS flaps will open now as they go down the main straight. Is anybody going to shape up a move in towards the Rettifilio? Robert might, as he closes in on that Aston Martin, but he thinks better of it, and somebody's hit him! Joe's hit him! Oh, there's been contact! Robert is out of the race. He's in the wall. That's another safety car. And that is absolute calamity for the young Irishman. He's out of the race. Wow, that is commiserations. That is an unceremonious way to end a race. You're fighting for the championship. That'll be in the steward's room, I'm sure. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm not sure if it was Joe braking late or Lewis braking late, and then they sort of concertinaed onto each other. But somebody's hit Roberts in the back, and that has seen him out of the race. It is a hard decision now. I think fresh mediums for everybody. To the end. The softs, they're decent, but by about 5 laps left, they start to become very equal with the mediums. Ghost into the pits, Lifeboat in, Speed in, Lewis in. I think everybody is going to come in. Rick will be happy the safety car is out. I think sort of mediums is the way to go. just without a tyre where it is, and that's what everybody else thinks, except for Lifebout. Lifebout on the softs. This is going to get spicy. Lifebout the only one to put the Red Bull on until MX proves me wrong. Puts the soft rubber on as well. Here we go. A race revitalised once more. Another change to the strategy. Another safety car. As Ghost continues to lead, Lifebout with the soft compound tyre, he'll make those work. Could be a good shoe-in for the race win here. Although, as I said, the safety car... What am I saying? As I said, the soft tyres do start to equal out to the mediums about 4 or 5 laps in. Depending on who you are, of course. I mean, at least that's what I felt when I raced around here on Tuesday. But I also was struggling with not having too much pace at this circuit. So, who am I to say, really? And so Lifebout, he'll be looking to get that lead back off of Ghost. Rick, he'll be happy the safety car's out. Although he's got a mountain to climb. A proverbial mountain, because not only would he need to finish ahead of Lifebout, he'd need to finish ahead of Ghost, and by quite some way. And Ghost would need to be P6 at a minimum. And Robert's now out, so that's Robert's column out the window now. That makes Ghost's life that much more easier. So Lifebout or Rick would need to take a win and the fastest lap, with Ghost finishing 5th position. And if there's any driver in APPF1 and on this circuit right now that knows how to win a championship, it's this man here, my commentary partner, my podcast partner, our APPF1 admin, and my very good friend Ghost, leading the way as we go around for the safety car. And it's been an eventful Grand Prix. We've had a couple safety cars, some on-track battles which have been great to watch. Monza always produces something as far as an on-track battle goes, between the repetition of the DRS train. Remember to tune in, maybe put in your driver of the day votes perhaps as well. There goes Roberts, and an unhappy man, I think. He'll be absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted to be out of this race. Let's catch up on paddock chat quickly. Let's have a look. I mean, we saw it firsthand. We know what happened. It must have been Joe that hit him. Oh dear. Alright, we're back on the green flag conditions, and Ghost leading them away once again. He's got the restart down. Will Lifebout be able to close in though, in towards turn number 1? He'll be using some ERS perhaps, and sticking in that slipstream, but he's just not quite close enough in order to make a move. Rick, however, is close enough to send it on Lewis AP. Lewis, a poor exit through the Rettifilio, still able to draw level though with Rick in the Mercedes, and keeps ahead of the young Dutchman, who is looking to desperately claw his way back up toward the front. But as Robert said in the paddock, It goes closest rival out of the championship, out of the race, and therefore makes Ghost's job that little bit easier today. As we go along, Ghost keeping the other drivers honest so far, but there's still plenty of time in this race. Anything could happen. But will it be a mistake from this man? I don't think so. This man does not make mistakes often. But he's coming under pressure now. We know how strong Lifeboat is in this final sector. And now that he's on those red-walled soft tyres, could make it all the more easy for Lifeboat. And he gets a fantastic exit once again. He's practically living in the diffuser of Ghost. But Ghost is going to fight it all the way down to the bitter end as they go side by side in towards Rettifilio once more. Lifeboat takes a lot of curb, but it really helped him propel his way up ahead of the Haas car. A poor exit from Ghost has now seen Speed Alcoholic take full advantage, and side by side they go. And could this be the beginning of the end? I don't think so. Ghost isn't going to let this go lightly. He keeps Speed Alcoholic away. Rick manages to get ahead of Red Flame Joe. Lewis AP off the circuit as well. Not sure what's happened there, but Rick back into P4. Red Flame Joe tumbles down the order. MX gets ahead of him, and they're side by side in toward Lesmo 2. No doing there for an overtake though. And it's as they were with MX closing in now on Lewis AP. Going to go round the outside in towards Ascari. Is that going to work? He's going to do it before the corner. And job's a good one on that occasion. Speed Alcoholic has been quite the factor in this race. He's been up in the top 4. Well, up in the top 5. Up in the top 5 in general from the start. And there we go. There's penalty coming the way of Red Flame Joe, it seems. We'll see what the stewards say. Me being one of them. I didn't quite see the incident, but as far as I'm aware, it's a late braking incident as MX ran the outside of Red Flame Joe and gets the position. Let's take a quick look at penalties. 3 seconds from MX, 5 for Lewis AP. Must have done something very naughty to get that 5-second penalty. Perhaps a big collision or speeding under safe in the pit lane. And let's see. The laps ticking down. The race somewhat neutralised by the DRS train. Will Lifeboat's soft compound tyres hold on, or will Ghost be able to snatch away victory once more from Lifeboat? It's been quite the race, despite the low numbers. We've got 2 distinct groups. We've got MX, Red Flame Joe and Lewis, and then there's Lifeboat, Ghost Speed and Rick, who have been the front runners all day long. Rick happy the safety car has come to pick him back up and put him back in the race, and there goes Ghost with the DRS before the braking zone. Easy pass. Red Flame Joe, is he going to be holding off? He is holding his own right now, keeping Lewis and MX behind, who have their time penalties. Lifeboat on the attack once again, watching the leaders. Lifeboat unable to make a move. Speed keeping Rick honest as well, keeping him behind for the time being. Doing a great job so far. Ooh, a little bit of a slide perhaps. Lawrence and Jacko sharing their summertime evenings, or late spring evenings, on one of the group chats. Why aren't you in the car? Why go outside in the real world when you can come and pretend race cars? Diabolical. Diabolical. Anyway, Ghost, chased by Lifebout, chased by Speed, and here comes Lifebout once again. Will Speed get his elbows out? He is! He's going to go for it! Is it going to be 2 places in one corner? Breaks as late as he dares and challenges Lifebout. Doesn't manage to quite get Lifebout and is now back under threat from Ghost. Side by side they go through Curva Grande. Ghost will be doing everything to make sure he doesn't have a major incident here with Speed Alcoholic. Side by side they go. Speed gets his way into P2. Ghost sensibly just backs off and lets the carnage unfold ahead of him and keeps in it for now. Ghost dropping down to P3, but it's not going to be enough. What is the fastest lap right now? It is Lifebout, 21.334. He's got that. He's where he needs to be, but it's Ghost now who needs to drop off. But it's not happening. He's also got Rick behind him as well. Will Rick make a desperate lunge on Ghost in these late stages of the race? If anything were to go wrong in that potential desperate lunge, then that is championship to Lifebout. If it were to end as it is right now. We're running out of laps though. There goes Speed. Here comes Ghost as well. He's just tucking his car insensibly. No contact between the two. Ghost is going to go for the up and under, but isn't able to do it. Isn't quite close enough to pull it off. And there's been an incident at turn 2. Looks like Lewis AP is round at the second part of the Rettifilio. Here comes Ghost once again. Very close with Lifebout. Lifebout breaks later. Ghost backs out of the move. And they're back to the status quo. But there goes Ghost down the inside through Lesmo 1. Opportunistic to snatch a position from Lifebout on the exit of Lesmo 1. And Speed has a little bit of a wobble, but is opening up that gap. He's got a lot of speed in that Aston Martin. And here comes Rick on Lifebout and Ghost, the championship rivals, all close together. Could it end in tears between them? Are they going to let Speed Alcoholic drive off into the sunset with the win here at Monza? There's going to be too few laps for another safety car, so it's a sprint now to the very end. And I think Lifebout's tyres might be struggling a little bit. But here he comes. Got that better exit. Could it be 3 wide going in towards turn number 1, as we've seen a couple times tonight as we go along? Not quite, but Rick is going to make a move. And that's Ghost now off the podium. But still, it won't be enough, even though Lifebout and Rick are ahead. Let's refer back to my table. Remember, 5th is the lowest Ghost has to finish in order to lose this, with Lifebout or Rick claiming the fastest lap. So Ghost is still safe. He will still win this championship, as long as nothing drastic happens to him. All he's got to do is stay exactly where he is, and Red Flame Joe will not be the man to take away points from his teammate. This is the ideal situation, really. It's just a huge shame that Robert wasn't here to just put the jeopardy up for Ghost that little bit more. It's a shame, but that's racing sometimes. A bit anticlimactic, but that's just the way the racing has unfurled today. We're on the penultimate lap here at Monza. There's still a fight for the win of this race. Well, Ghost will definitely want to win the race and the championship all at the same time, but he'll happily sit back and watch the 3 ahead of him fight until the end, because he doesn't need to do anything more now. All he's got to do is bring that car home, and he will be crowned a Tier 1 champion once again, to become... Gonna look on my standings, on my lineups, on my somethings. Something tells me how many championships they've got. on the race results. Yes, yes it is. And Ghost will become a many times champion. He'll become a 3-time Tier 1 champion. He'll join the ranks of Lifebout and MX if he can manage to keep it, which is looking more and more likely as we head on to the final lap here. Speed Alcoholic keeping the lead, but not for long as Lifebout gets the move done. He'll have one more pass at it. There goes Rick as well. Is it going to be hammering down now for Speed Alcoholic? Is he going to lose another place to another Dutchman on the circuit? Is Ghost going to get a nose in there as well? Doesn't look like it. Ghost just holding station, doing his best right now. Through the Del Rogier we go. The corner's ticking down. If a mistake for Ghost is going to come for the sake of Lifebout, it has to be now. It has to be on this lap as Ghost and Speed Alcoholic. Ooh, it's getting ever close between them. Ghost. Oh my word. Ghost, is he going to go for the move? I think he is. He's going to be forced to. But I don't think he'll be too committed, maybe. No, he gets it done anyway. He's going to finish on the podium. There's one more corner for them to navigate. And Lifebout and Rick, they have put in a valiant effort all season long. If it wasn't for a missed race, this could have been a very, very different championship, I will tell you that. But Lifebout will come across the line. He will win the Monza race, but it is Ghost who is crowned the 3-time Tier 1 champion of APPF1 and of the world. It is Ghost. What a fantastic championship it has been from him. What a return to form. What a stat for the books. We have three-time Tier 1 champions who finish this race now with MX, Ghost, MX Lifebout, and now Ghost joining those ranks. What a Tier 1 season it has been. There they are up on the podiums. I'm summoning them now for their interviews. I feel a bit bad summoning Robert as well, but it's tradition to summon all of the championship contenders. There's an invitation to them, but let's see then. Lifebout, he finishes the race P1, but it wasn't enough to take another Tier 1 championship. As we go along, Robert not fancying the interview today, understandably so. But Lifebout takes the win with Rick P2, but Ghost finishes on the final step of the podium as Ghost becomes a 3-time Tier 1 champion, with Speed Alcoholic, MX, Lewis AP all finishing the race, as well as Speed and Robert, although I thought it was Sheep and Robert, or was that MX ahead of Robert? I don't know. Either way, that is that. Have we got everybody, or shall I just... let's have a look. We're just waiting on Ghost, but since you have to go Lifebout, we'll talk to you right away. And I think it was a valiant effort, but there was just no doing for it. Ghost was just on form. He needed to make a mistake. It didn't happen. And despite winning, you gave it your very best.
Yeah, I think the race in Zandvoort cost me probably, but yeah, the race went well. It was kind of a calm race because the grid wasn't too big, so me and Ghost were basically, I think we were leading more than half the race, and then in the end, I think Ghost just took it safe because he just wanted to secure the title, and then Yeah, I overtook speed on last lap, and then I had a big enough gaps so that Rick can't catch me, and yeah, so basically got the win.
Yeah, it was quite the ask for yourself, and the same will be said about Rick as well. But it's a huge shame, and losing Roberts in that as well just took another factor out of it and made it even more harder for you and even easier for Ghost as you went along. But it's been a great season, Lifebout. You've got a fellow three-time tier one champion alongside as well, and I'm sure we can expect you back for F124.
Yeah, of course. Uh, I'll be there, of course. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Well, any final thoughts? It's been a great season. Anything you want to say to the community or
Uh,
to the rest of the drivers in Tier 1 before I let you go?
it's been a really good season, I have to say. Probably I think the best season of the game, because it was so competitive every race. We had so many good races, and it was fun. That's all I have to say.
All right. Well, thank you, Lifebout. Another great effort. I'm sure you'll be back
Thank
in
you too for
fighting
the
form.
commentating.
No problem. I'll let you get going.
Yeah,
But thanks again
good
for
evening.
racing. Have a good one, mate.
You too.
And now we must talk to the man of the moment, the newly crowned three-time Tier 1 champion. How is that, Ghost? How does that feel?
I mean, it's great. Bittersweet because of the way that it ended for Robert, because he didn't deserve that at all. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's a shame that it was my teammate as well who caused the
It's
crash.
very
But
funny, that,
like,
isn't it?
no, these things happen.
Did you pay
And
Joe?
yeah, just unfortunate. No, I didn't. This isn't a Vardy situation, Sumo. um, no, but yeah, I'm genuinely gutted for him because although I still feel like probably would have won in the situation we were in before that safety car. You never know what can happen, especially when all four of us were in the same part of the track. So yeah, it could have been carnage towards the end, but yeah, after he crashed, I just took it slow, really. I Once Speed and Lifebelt both got past me on the straight, I thought, right, yeah, no more battling for me. I'm just gonna take an opportunity if it comes, but other than that, I'm just gonna sit back here because I don't need to do anything now. And yeah, that's exactly what I did. Just counted down the laps, and I'm glad that it's a fairly sort of it's not a track that you have to dial in as much to really be um, proper, like the top of your game at. So yeah, I was glad for that. So I could just put all my focus on the track, and it just helped me get over the line. But yeah, I mean, I never thought this day would come. I thought I was done after season 9, when I bottled it in Kota. Um, so yeah, I can't believe I'm back on the top step.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, perhaps. And we said at the start of this season that it would be the most competitive Tier 1 season, and it certainly has been. And you've had to fight off quite some competitors to do so. A reformed Rick, Luca, an incredibly quick driver, Lifebout as well. Robert, who had been put in some great performances. And I think you can probably. Is this your best tier APPF1 title yet?
It's up there, purely because I didn't really make any mistakes this season. Like the only race that didn't go well was Canada, and that was because I got 2 drive-through penalties for coming into the pits under a VSC. So, I mean, yeah, I've just been especially considering how bad I was last season, as well, because I was nowhere last season, in terms of pace with Lifebout and Finley, and so yeah, I thought my days of challenging for titles were over. But this season, I've settled into a new home life, and I've been more dialed in, and well, it culminated in a title. It's just the only thing I regret this season is how unlucky I've been in Elite. I think what happened was all of the bad luck that would have gone into Tier 1 went into Elite instead. So I didn't just have equal bad luck in both, I just piled it all into Elite. But yeah, I'm glad to come away with the title. It's been a great season.
I wish I knew what good luck felt like, but but no, it's been a very good effort, and it's all proven at the end of the race here today, and it's been a fantastic season. My only regret is that I wasn't here for as much as I would have liked to have been, but that happens sometimes. But Ghost, you are the APPF1 Tier 1 champion for Season 12 and the last on F1 2023. Take a breather, take a bow. Well done.
Thank you so much, and thank you for covering the finale. Much appreciated, and hope you enjoyed it. And also commiserations to Rick and Lifebout. Both of them had an insane season as well, especially Rick coming off the back of last season. He's about to talk now, but mad props to him. What a season he's had. He deserved to be in top 3, and he is.
And any final thoughts or words for the rest of the league as we end the Tier 1 season?
Tune into the podcast to find out whether me or Sumo win the prediction championship. But also, thank you everyone, for an amazing season all round. Tier 2 was great as well. And yeah, it's a shame we got a kind of lackluster grid today, but we got unlucky with timings. So I'm just glad that we could still have a really fun finale. So yeah, hope to see you all for F1 24. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And finally, we'll talk to Rick then. And it, like Lifebout, it was a very valiant effort. And at one point, my heart dropped for you, and you spun around. But I think it was probably a result of quite the mountain to climb for you, Rick. But just talk us through that race.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, just tough one, a really tough one. Obviously, last of the guys fighting for the championship, equal with Lifebout. Lifebout, Jeff, definitely faster than me overall, so that was something I needed to account for. Yeah, ultimately couldn't do that. Knew I could have done something if Robert and Ghost made a mistake, but ultimately Robert and Ghost didn't. But yeah, just congrats to Ghost and commiserations to Life and Robert. But the race had a good start, definitely. Was in for the mix throughout that entire race, except for when I was behind due to the spin, which was my own fault, just broke way too late. Like I said on the podcast, I needed the stars to align for me this race, and one of those was having the attendance for Ghost and Robert to drop back into if they were to make mistakes, but that ultimately didn't happen. So yeah.
It must have been tough to have spun in that manner and to put all the effort in, knowing that it was a very, very slim chance that you went through. But I think, Rick, you can take one thing from this: you've had a fantastic season this season, the closest you've probably ever been for a while for a Tier 1 championship, and that says a lot, I think, in considering how competitive that grid was this season. And I think consistency has been key this season for the most part, with drivers missing races and stuff like that. And it has definitely been one of the toughest Tier 1 seasons we've ever had, so you can take a lot from that. And I will say that was a fantastic move around the outside of Curva Grande. That
Thank
double
you.
overtake. I caught that on stream. You can go watch that one back and
Oh, I
remember the
will.
race fondly from that. But I'm sure you'll be back for F124 Ghost, right?
Oh yeah. Of course.
Ghost. Oh, I meant Rick. I tell you what, I was looking at the Discord and I saw Ghost. I was reading Lucas' message and I said Ghost rather than Rick.
Um, depends on when the season starts, but I definitely won't be buying the game straight away. I'll definitely wait a month or a
I've
month and a
already
half.
pre-ordered it, mate. I pre-ordered it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait a bit, but I'll be there. If it isn't for the first maybe 2 rounds, I'll be there
Very
later.
well. And any final words from you for the league, for anybody out there listening in on these final interview?
Step up, Jackalacko.
Oh dear.
That's it.
That's it. Brilliant. What a short and sweet. Well, that's it then. That is Tier 1. It's done. It's over. F1 2023. We'll dust you off and put you on the shelf. You've been a decent F1 game. I'll say that. Probably the best one we've had in the last few years. So it's been a great one to have. You have got Elite on Sunday. Hopefully a better turnout over there. That'll be commentated by Rick, as long as there's plenty of drivers for it. So go check that out on Sunday. Watch out for the podcast on Monday, as long as Ghost remembers to upload it, as we'll find out how it's going to be looking for the final, well, for the upcoming finale for the Predictions Championship. So go check out that. Obviously go subscribe to Ghost channel, to my channel as well, to catch all the latest APPF1 action as well. There's going to be plenty of it with the new game just around the corner. And that's it. I want to say thank you to everybody who took part in Tier 1 this season. It's been fantastic. I want to apologise once more for not being here as often as I would have liked to cover all of the races this season, because it has been truly fantastic. A round of applause to you all, and I'm sure we'll see you on the grid once again once the seasons get started back up. And don't forget that there will be off-season action if you want to drive some F2 cars, or you want to come and get involved in some sprint races. We are planning those to come for the off-season before the main season start up again with season 13 of Tier 1, of course. But thank you all so very much for your time and for watching along as well, if you've made it all the way to the end. I have been Sumo. It has been a pleasure to commentate on APPF1 for F1 23, and we'll see you again very soon for another year of Formula 1. Goodbye.